Hey Ringsiders, what's going on? This is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, and welcome back to Ringside Stories. Or if you're new, feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. Thanks so much for your support in advance. 2024 just started, and it's time, before we move forward in this year with hopefully a lot of promising bouts, to take one more look at 2023. Today specifically, we'll be looking at the 10 best performances. There was a comment under one of my polls asking if I could do a top 10 pound for pound according to 2023. I personally think that's a bit difficult to do because there were certain people that are operating in that pound for pound top 10 list who weren't as active or who weren't really fighting top guys. So what I did was rate the top 10 performances in 2023 according to Ringside Stories. Let's get into it. Number 10, Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Usyk overcame adversity to retain his unified heavyweight championship against Daniel Dubois. Dubois rocked Usyk and knocked him down in the 5th round, which drew up some controversy. Some people say that Usyk wouldn't have beaten the count, and some people would argue that was a legal shot that Usyk got hit with. Other people will argue, okay, even if it wasn't a legal blow, Usyk looked vulnerable. Whatever it may be, the Ukrainian unified heavyweight champion of the world got up, turned the tide after recovering, punishing the young Dubois with combinations, wore him out, forcing Daniel Dubois to take a knee in the 9th after an onslaught from Usyk, closing the show in the 9th round in his only fight in 2023. Number 9, Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell Miller. Dubois rebounded from his loss to Usyk by delivering his best performance in his pro career so far against the previously unbeaten Jarrell Miller. In the opening rounds, Dubois was moving around more than usual, showed good ring acumen, even though he was constantly pressured by the older and much heavier Miller. Dubois methodically broke down the loudmouth American, hitting him with flush shots, showing a masterful performance, a real coming of age and iconic performance from Daniel Dubois on the Day of Reckoning card, December 23, 2023, stopping Jarrell Big Baby Miller in the dying seconds of the 10th and final round. Number 8, David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. Two undefeated fighters who both had a lot to prove. Now, Andrade used his slick boxing skills to build an early lead on at least 2 of the judge scorecards officially. However, Benavidez' relentless pressure and heavy hands took over as the fight progressed. He dropped Boo Boo in the 4th, whereafter El Bandera Roja proved too powerful, too strong, with too much punching power for the slick southpaw, who really had not enough to earn Benavidez' respect. David Benavidez' record now improved to 28-0, and with 2024 just getting started, will Benavidez challenge boxing's cash cow and 168 undisputed world champion Saul Canelo Alvarez next? Number 7, Teofimo Lopez versus Josh Taylor. Lopez announced his comeback by capturing Taylor's light welterweight title. Josh Taylor, the former undisputed king at 140 and previously unbeaten, had success in the early rounds using his jab and footwork, but Lopez timed Taylor coming in and hurt him badly with great counters, especially at the end of the 6th. Lopez poured it on in the second half of the fight, outmaneuvering the Scotsman and even hurting Taylor a couple of times to eventually win a clear, unanimous points decision. A surprisingly good performance from the former unified lightweight champion of the world, who had a night's off against George Kambosos Jr., but does hold a great win over legend Vasily Lomachenko, and also turned up against the former undisputed 140-pound champion of the world. Number 6, Marlon Tapales versus Murajon Akhmadaliev. The Filipino southpaw scored one of the biggest upsets of 2023, beaten former undefeated unified super bantamweight world champion Murajon Akhmadaliev. The Uzbekistan boxer started strong, but the Filipino fought back bravely. Eventually, it came down to the scorecards, where one judge had it 118-110 for Akhmadaliev, overruled by the other 2 judges who had it 115-113 for Marlon Tapales, who earned a split decision win, upset, setting himself up for his biggest challenge for the undisputed 122-pound championship of the world against the monster Naoya Inoue later in 2023. Number 5, Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards. Rodriguez captured his second flyweight title in a good fight against undefeated Sonny Edwards. The Brit tried to keep things on the outside, but Rodriguez kept pressing and eventually breaking him down. Edwards was cut badly over one eye as Rodriguez landed huge shots. Edwards got hurt throughout the fight, put up a decent performance showing a lot of hearts, but eventually his corner decided to stop the fight. And all of a sudden, the world looks bright for the 23-year-young unified flyweight champion of the world. Number 4, Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. Haney moved up to light welterweight to face two-time WBC 104-pound world champion Regis Prograis in his debut. Devin Haney looked very comfortable moving around the ring, showing excellent ring IQ and ring generalship, as well as newly found power. Having gone up to 140, Devin Haney claimed the weight cut is less draining, which showed. Devin Haney kept control over the whole fight, landing accurate shots, even hurting Prograis, coasting to a 12-round unanimous decision, pitching a near shutout, looking spectacular in the process. Out of all fights in the young career of Devin Haney, this is his iconic performance so far. And the scary part is that Devin Haney, although a former undisputed world champion and now a two-time world champion, the scary part is that Devin Haney isn't even a finished article yet. Number 3, Joseph Parker versus Deontay Wilder. Parker scored an upset win over Deontay Wilder. Wilder didn't really give much of a fight, losing pretty much every round due to the excellent strategy made by Andy Lee and the execution of his pupil Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker not only was able to control distance, manipulating space, rhythm, and using his speed and bursts, he also hurt Deontay Wilder, coming close to stopping the Bronze Bomber in round 8. And with Joseph Parker back in his winning ways, what is next for the former WBO heavyweight champion of the world? Number 2, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford showed up big time for this long-awaited showdown with his contemporary and former unified welterweight champion of the world, Errol Spence Jr. Crawford used his superior footwork and timing to control the early action. Even though Spence pressed forward, the truth was having trouble to land clean. Crawford came out southpaw, which proved to be a tactic that flustered Errol Spence Jr. Tactical and methodical, Terence Crawford dropped Errol Spence Jr. twice, 3 times en route to a 9th round TKO win, proving Terence Crawford is one of the pound-for-pound best of his generation, having now become a 2-time undisputed champion of the world in the 4-belt era. Number 1, Naoya Inoue versus Stephen Fulton. This was a historic unified super bantamweight title fight. Inoue's first step up to the 122-pound division showed why he is so special. Not having a tune-up fight in mind, he went straight for the best available opposition, in this case undefeated unified world champion Stephen Fulton. Inoue closed the show in style in the 8th, following a precise jab to the body with a concussive right hand upstairs that sent Fulton reeling backwards, then a left which sent him crashing to the deck. The American made it to his feet on rubbery legs before the 10 count, but Inoue, perhaps the sport's most ruthless finisher, trapped him in a corner and within seconds unloaded with a violent barrage of punches until the referee correctly stepped in. If there is pound for pound number 1 in the world, in my opinion, it is between Terence Crawford and Naoya Inoue. But because Naoya Inoue became a 2-time undisputed world champion in just over a year, moving up a weight class, going after not 1 but 2 champions, and looking spectacular in both of those fights, stopping both champions, Stephen Fulton and later on Marlon Tapales, I would give the edge to Naoya Inoue. What do you think? Who is the current best fighter in the world, and what was your most memorable boxing performance of 2023? Let us know in the comments below. If you're new to this channel and you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. I make content regarding boxing through mini documentaries, backstories, and much more. So if you enjoy that type of content, feel free to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for the latest here on Ringside Stories. Thanks so much for your support in advance, and welcome to the channel. Now, if you've done that already, you're amazing. We already know that you are the true undisputed world champion. Till next time, Ringsiders, this is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, with Ringside Stories. Thanks for watching, and have a legendary day.